D-Man here. Just telling you, I hope you like this video.
I hope you do.
So let's get in to the video.
Yeah,
Enjoy.
enjoy.
Hey guys, D-Man here, doing another movie review and another anime movie review. This time, I haven't done one of these in a while. I think the last one was Naruto something, and I'm gonna do two of these actually because I've watched two anime movies recently. But this one is for a different reason. I watched this one, and it is called Colorful. Yes, I watched this movie called Colorful, and the main reason I watched it is because I was watching a YouTube channel called Monkey Jones, if I'm not mistaken, and I really like his content. And I'll put up the original video that I saw of his review of this. And he brought up a couple points in this, but the premise of this movie sounded interesting to me, so I watched it. Uh, but yeah, it's actually a really interesting movie. Um, I didn't like it like super much, but I did like it. So I'm gonna do my normal thing. I'm gonna go non-spoilers and spoilers. But this movie's pretty old, so I'm gonna go through the non-spoilers really fast. I'm just gonna give you a basic premise of the movie, and then my score, and then go into spoilers. So the basic premise of this movie is this kid, and I forgot his name. I'm sorry, I'm bad at names. But it's right here. Him. He kills himself, and then a soul from the afterlife. It looks like purgatory, pretty much. Gets to live in his body. So the premise is this soul cannot move on or be reborn, because in this movie, I guess in the afterlife you can be reborn, uh, because reasons. But he can't do that unless he relives a life that will uh, stop him from committing his horrible sin. And we don't get what this man did, what his horrible sin was. All we get is that he's just like, you get to go to this young boy's body, live his life, and get a second chance at your life. So basically, a soul gets to go into this kid's body, get a second chance at life, because the soul did a horrible sin in his life, and he has to figure out what he did in his life in about 2 months or so, I think it was, or maybe a few months. So he has a few months to figure out, and then after that, uh, something will happen, and I'll get into that a little bit in the spoiler section because they make it sound like something totally different is gonna happen. But that sounds like a pretty cool premise, right? This kid, he commits suicide, he dies, so a soul gets to take over his body and basically correct the wrongs that he did in his life and figure out what he did in his life, but in this kid's body. So it sounds interesting. It sounds like, oh, a soul went into that body and he gets to uh, just try to correct the wrongs that he did, obviously. So he has no idea who this kid is, and he doesn't know who his parents are or anything like that. So it's just kind of this interesting little story of him just trying to deal with his kid's family and stuff. Yet at the same time, trying to figure out what he did and how he can stop it. But it gets really muddled and stuff, and it gets really, um, it just gets really like kind of deep, I guess you could say. But there are a few things that I don't like about this movie. Uh, in Monkey Jones's video, he said that it was long and it should have been like only an hour. And I would have to agree with that because a lot of stuff in here you could take out, and it could be like, it could be basically an hour. And there's this angel guy right here. This guy, he's supposedly an angel, quote unquote angel, and he basically says like, you have about 2 3 months to figure out what you did, and then after that, something happens, and if you don't do it, something bad will happen. But if you do it, something good will happen. You'll be able to get reborn and stuff. Is basically the premise. Like, but if you don't do it, you can't get reborn. And then he's like, "What happens if I can't get reborn?" He doesn't say, but um, we do find out sort of what happens. But I'll get to that in the spoilers part. So yeah, that's basically the premise. It sounds pretty cool, but they draw it out super lots. They draw this movie out just a lot. I don't know why they do. They just do. Uh, and plus, there's a few things in there that it's just drawn out a lot. His family, he doesn't really resolve anything with his family by the end. And it's kind of weird. But he doesn't resolve anything with his family. He just kind of lives, I guess. It's just a weird thing to think about. But anyways, if I were to rate this movie, the premise alone sounds like a good premise, but this movie it didn't really do it like super well. It didn't do it super bad. It didn't do it super well. I'd probably rate it a 6 if a 1 was the worst, 10 was the best, and 5 was just average. I'd rate this a 6. I'd say watch it once, but you probably wouldn't want to watch it more than that because it's just not that. It's just not that good of a movie. It's just the premise just kind of gets muddled in this long movie that doesn't really have a conclusion, I guess, or a fulfilling conclusion, I should say. It has a conclusion, but it doesn't have a fully conclusion. It just kind of a, oh, really? That's how it ends? It's kind of meh. Um. Anyways, let's get into spoilers. This movie is a bit old, so I'm pretty sure most of you watched it. Okay, so spoiler. So basically, this guy killed himself, and in the movie, we are led to assume that another soul has taken over his body, but it turns out to be his own soul, and the outrageous sin that he committed was killing himself. So it is him, but he doesn't think it's him, and we're supposed to not think it's him throughout the movie, but we can kind of tell it's him throughout the movie. Like if you can tell, like, it's just kind of like you can just tell. Okay, you can just tell that is him, just without his memories. So he's led to believe, and we're supposed to be led to believe that it's not him, but it is. And also, the angel, quote unquote angel, says that once he figures out, like in 3 months or so, 2 months, whatever, his soul will leave his body, and then this body will actually die. But that doesn't happen. Uh, it doesn't happen, but I'm wondering why it doesn't happen because he gets to live on with his new found lease on life. And that's pretty cool, I guess. So he gets to live on with his newfound lease on life. And the quote unquote angel says that he's like, don't kill yourself again. Next time, just wait till you die of old age. He doesn't say that, I guess, but he's just like, yeah, just don't kill yourself again so you can actually be reborn when you die. Sort of thing. So he gets to have this life, but we're led to believe that once his time is over, he's gonna die. But he doesn't die because he gets to live his life now, which is stupid. I kind of wanted him to die at the end because that would have been more fulfilling. But maybe he meant like if you don't figure out what you did, you'll die at the end. But they never really said that. They just said like at the end of this, your soul's gonna leave your body and you're gonna die. This body will die, but it never happens. It just he just lives. That's it. He lives. So that's kind of shitty. That's kind of a shitty thing to do. I guess it's not really good. What's a premise I didn't like about this movie? Again, I didn't like the long runtime of it. A lot of it could have been cut out. Um, this girl is the girl that he liked right here. See him watching her, stalker. She's a prostitute. I don't know why she's a prostitute. She just is because she likes expensive stuff and she doesn't care. She bangs gross old man, I guess. Although she says, "Oh, he's kind of cute," and she also has a lot of problems. She's just like sometimes I want to like in this scene right here. She's like, "I want to destroy stuff sometimes," and I don't know. And he's like, "Listen, I understand. I fucking killed myself basically." So yeah, like sometimes people have all these different colors, and he says that, and it's supposed to be like a reference to the title, I guess. And it's kind of stupid. I don't know. If you stop sleeping with random people, you might feel better about yourself. But I guess that's not gonna happen. We never really get a resolve on that. Um, so that's something I didn't like. We never really get a resolve on the whole I'm a slut thing. There's like, some people are like that. We just live with it. Don't get me wrong. I'm not against prostitutes. If it's what you want to do, you can do it. Except I'm against it if you're a child, and plus it's illegal in general. So I I'm not okay. So that's kind of weird. It's kind of weird to explain that. I'm not against prostitution if the person that's doing it wants to do it and they're not a child. Uh, be honest, I would kind of want prostitution to be legalized because then prostitutes could have like brothel houses and have health care and have better protection against like like have better protection with bodyguards, and also they can use protection against diseases and stuff like that. And plus, they could make more money, and they wouldn't have to deal with pimps and people sex trafficking. It would just cut down a lot on sex trafficking and stuff. Whatever. That's my personal opinion on prostitution. And plus, it would just be better for the workers of prostitution because they could actually choose and not be forced into it. Uh, but anyways, let's get back to the movie. So this whole movie is kind of just meh. The mom is cheating on the husband, or was, until the son tried to commit suicide, and the son is visibly disgusted with the mom. And I can kind of feel him there. Like if someone cheats on your father or something like that, or your mother cheats on your father cheats on your mother, I could see where you're just like, you're disgusting. What the fuck's wrong with you? Like you cheated on him, and no one likes you. Like, and she just doesn't get it. I guess I don't know. She just doesn't understand why he's disgusted with her until he says that he knows that she cheated on him. Uh, and that never gets resolved, by the way. The mother's breaking down and crying and stuff, and I can feel for her, but I don't feel for her super much because I'm kind of just like, you're kind of a cheating whore. I don't really feel for you too much, but I do feel for you. Um, and at the end, it never really gets resolved. And the brother doesn't really talk to him, and that never gets resolved. And the father's kind of like this. He's like a timid person that doesn't really do anything. Even when the mother's crying, no one does anything. And this never gets resolved in this. Like, it never gets resolved. It's so stupid. Like, I really wish this movie would have focused a little bit more on the family and resolved this crap. Like, I wish the son, which is him, which is the new, obviously, the kid that killed himself, I wish he would have been like to his mother, like, listen, you don't have to apologize to me. What you need to do is tell his father what you did, and then maybe you'll get divorced. Maybe he'll forgive you. But if you tell him what you did, you'll feel better. And plus, I can forgive you because I don't think I could forgive you without you admitting what you did, but not to me, to the person that you did it to. You know what I mean? That's what I want him to say because that's what I would say. It's just like, don't tell me that you did it. Tell the person that you did it to that you did it, you know? Go tell the guy that you fucked somebody else because he works all the time or whatever excuse you want to come up with and see what happens. Maybe you'll get divorced. Maybe he'll forgive you. Who knows? 50-50, right? And the dad, I don't know, man. I think he should have talked to him and be like, you need to be less timid. You know, like, she's cheating on you because you're a timid little fucking asshole that always works because you don't want to deal with anything because you're a timid asshole. He doesn't want to deal with stuff, so he works all the time, so he's just like an asshole, I guess. His wife is breaking down, his son committed suicide, and he's just like, I'm gonna go to work now. It's just like, dude, what the fuck's wrong with you? You gotta deal with this shit, but you don't want to because you're a timid little fuck. I don't know. It just kind of pisses me off. And he never addresses this. And his brother is a total what it looks like to me, his brother looks like a shun to me, right? So he never addresses his brother or says like, "Hey, we're brothers. We should talk more." No, his brother just kind of just shuts his mouth and just goes like, "Yeah." Mm-hmm. He talks to his mom, but he's like, "Yeah." Mm-hmm. And it's just like, dude, I'm your brother. I tried to commit suicide. I want a fucking relationship, but you're being a total asshole. So that kind of pisses me off. So the whole family thing, it never gets resolved, and at the end, he just starts crying, and he accepts his mom for what she did, even though she never told the husband what she did. But she's breaking down mentally, so he's just like, I guess I'll forgive her, even though I'm not the one that should be forgiving her. It should be her fucking husband. Uh, you know, like personally, if I was a kid, I'd feel more wronged for my father than my mother, like than myself, I guess, not my mother. I'd feel more wrong for the person that happened to than myself. So I'd be like, don't apologize to me, apologize to them. So that's kind of stupid, and that never gets resolved. And this whole prostitute thing, at the end, he's just like, people have all different colors and blah blah blah, and I guess you can stay a child prostitute if you want because I'm cool with it. Because you're not gonna stop it anyways. So whatever. And this girl likes him because she has a crush on him, and he's a fucking asshole. Like in this scene, he's a complete fucking asshole. It looks like he's gonna basically rape her, but instead he's just like, "You're ugly without your glasses on too," because he he knows that he's gonna die, or he thinks that he's gonna die. So he's just like, "Fuck, I'm just gonna be an asshole to everybody." So he's a complete asshole to this girl that did nothing to him. She has like these weird quirks, but she never did anything to him. So, but he's a complete asshole to her. Um, and this girl is redeemable. Like if you put some makeup on her stuff and like change your attitude and start to talk normally, she'd be redeemable. But no, instead of like being her friend or something like that, he's a complete fucking cunt. And then this guy is the one that saves the day. He becomes his friend, and at the end of the day, he's just like, I have a friend now, so now I want to live and I want to fucking make my life better, even though I didn't do anything at all. Like, I didn't talk to my parents, and I didn't resolve anything with them. All I did was apologize to this girl right here, and kind of talk to this one, but I didn't really resolve anything except with this girl. Except with this girl, that's all I did. Is I resolved stuff with this girl, and I cried in front of my family, and they felt bad for me. Cause he cries at the end in front of his family, and they feel bad for him. So that's all he does. Is cry in front of his family, and they feel bad for him, and that's it. That's the end. They feel bad. He apologizes to the girl, and he gets to live on. His soul gets to live, and he gets to keep his new life and his new found respect. And the whole time, it was actually him because he committed suicide. That was his outrageous sin, and he realized that he was actually himself in his own body. And it's really, really stupid. And the angel, this guy, um, he's an example of what would have happened to him if he didn't realize because he is actually a soul that never realized what he did in the past life, so he had to become a guide of sorts, I guess. So if he wouldn't realize, he would have become a guide, I guess, is what they're saying. It's just like if you don't realize, you get to stay in purgatory and become a guide. Uh, I guess that's a thing in this world. So all in all, it's a fairly good movie. It has a good premise, just poorly executed, and nothing really gets resolved at the end except between these two. Um, Other than that, nothing gets resolved, and it's kind of just like, why did I sit here and watch this for 2 hours? But I would suggest watching it at least once. It's okay. Um, I really did like the premise, and I really wanted it to go that route. where like it was a totally different soul in his body, and he would have realized that I'm not this kid. I have a past life, and maybe before I die, I can mend this broken family, and I could like apologize to all these people, and I could like help these people. That would have been a lot cooler to me if it was like a totally different person in his body, and he was just like, okay, I'm not this guy. I'm a totally different guy. But before I leave this body and this body dies, which is inevitable, it sounds like in this movie at least. At the end, it doesn't know. It doesn't happen. But if that was me, I was just like, okay, what happens after I leave? And they're like, oh, your body will die, your soul will go back, and you'll either be able to be reborn or you'll die, you know? At that point, I feel like I would have been like, okay. And I would have tried to mend this broken family. I would have told the mother, like, listen, you gotta tell dad what you did. Or if it was vice versa, I would have like, listen, you gotta tell mom what you did, and whatever happens, happens. You gotta do it. Your life's gonna feel better after. I would try to help the prostitute girl as much as I could. I don't know if I could though. And then at the end, it would have been cool if he died, or I would have been fine with it if he's just like, yeah, you get to stay in this body and keep your life now. Uh, it would have been cool. I would have been like, okay, that's okay. I guess that I'd be fine with that. But I guess it would have been more impactful if he died at the end, because he's just like, I only had 3 months, and now I get to die. But at least I fixed some things. At least I made everything better. And I didn't like the whole fact that he needed like. I get the whole fact that he needed a friend to pull him out, but some people find it hard to make friends, and like sometimes that friend's not gonna be there. You know, that's not real life. Sometimes you're not gonna have that person there. So it's a 50-50 chance that this kid could have just been like, he could have just been like his guardian angel supposedly. So he could have just turned out like him and be like, well, I guess I'm a fucking guide to other people trying to help them now. It was a 50-50 chance. He's lucky he got the right chance to get a friend. Um, it was an okay film. I would have preferred it if it was a completely different person and he actually did die at the end, but he meant the family like a little bit at least. He mended it a little bit, you know, and he actually helped people instead of just kind of just like, oh yeah, I'm going back to my life now because I'm me. It was just kind of like, why is that the ending? It's me. It would have been so much better if it was a totally different person and the impact was totally different and he had a totally different thing like, oh, this is my outrageous sin I did, and now that I help these people I can move on and get reborn into something, I guess. But instead it's just like, I am the guy that killed himself, and I never really did anything with my family. All I did was cry in front of them, and then everything went back to normal, I guess. And then they felt sorry for me, and now everything's kind of better because I forgave my mom, even though she never fucking told my dad or anything like that. But I forgave her because that's what sons do. Personally, it's not really my. It's not really what. It's not really my point to forgive her, but I did anyways. Anyways, that's my video on this. I hope you liked it. I know it was a little bit rambly. I tried to speak properly. Um, all in all, it was a good premise, but poorly executed. But definitely worth a watch at least once. You might want to skip through some parts though, like the train part especially. Skip through that whole thing. It's fucking boring. But yeah, you want to skip through a few parts. But all in all, it's an okay show. And this hairstyle fucking sucks on him. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, and share. And as always, my friends, stay sane. Peace. Hey guys, D-Man here. Just remind you to subscribe by clicking here. It works on mobile. Do it. or click here to watch my last video. It also works on mobile. Just remember, subscribe and stuff.
Yeah, subscribe and stuff.
Alright, bye bye.